So welcome everybody to this open mode tournament race between KaizenMa and ThreeDucks.
Glad to have everybody. We are followed here by commentary on besides me, Gabisver, and the very famous Korek, who appears to be in our very own tournament number 1. This being the secondary, I believe.
Yes, and I believe this is the first match in the secondary tournament for each of our runners here.
Here we start, both going to the house, Link's house, same very equal beginning. Not much to do. Apparently, they might both be going to visit the uncle.
It looks like they're both going for an uncle start. We'll see if they get the poultry up here.
Yeah, ThreeDucks didn't kill an enemy, but Kaizen did. Oh, just green rupees.
So this is one of several very common starts. This one's nice because you get 3 items really quick, and you can check a tree pull.
Yep. Sadly, none of them were good this time.
They did get 3 bombs, which is enough for the top half of Kakariko, so they'll be hoping to get some more money or bombs before they finish over there.
True. And even with having just 1 bomb, they can still farm some more with the bombable hut on the bottom left. Now, will either of them do Houlihan Room? Or will they go... Well, probably Houlihan Room, you'd start at the Sanctuary before a house. So I guess not. Oh, Kaizen is...
Yeah, Kaizen is going for the Houlihan Room, it would appear.
Oh.
It's not a bad idea. It's a safe start, and make sure you get enough rupees to get the bottle vendor, a bomb purchase.
And 1 step closer to Zora. Our little bug friend with just some hearts. And Aghanim. I didn't quite catch that. I think it was rupees?
Looked like 100 rupees, so
yes.
Not going to force Aghanim there.
Oh yes. But there's always hope for more.
So KaizenMa might farm a few bombs here.
Oh.
Oh, he walked right by. He probably figures that 3 is enough for now.
Yes. Let's see, the racing game. 3 more bombs, 1 bomb for 3. Probably not. Well, maybe he might. 3 bombs. Nope. Skipping right past it. The woods only having just some 50 rupees. Oh, bomb upgrade on the library. Not gonna be needing that.
So not a whole lot yet, but we're just getting into the heart of Kakariko, so we'll see what they get.
A lot more items to come, especially in the beginning. Kaizen there purchasing his bombs.
Looks like just a bunch of love and money in Blind's hut so far.
Oh, yes. At least he can afford the bottle vendor. Oh, the chicken didn't go through.
We got blue mail.
Oh. Or blue eyes in his case. Oh, the hook shot on the bottle vendor.
That's
not much they can do with it, but it can be used as offensive on some enemies, and it will definitely stun all the others.
Yeah, they can use it for quick movement, and it will make the mini Moldorm Cave a lot easier. And there we have the Moon Pearl in the well.
Yeah. Oh, well, that would make it easier. Well, they can do Fake flippers and Jesus walk. New Jesus walk. Now one is doing what the other already did.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see where our runners go from here. South Shore is always a good idea, especially that
Yes.
hook shot makes it a lot easier, plus the Moon Pearl.
Yes. If they get enough money in there, it'll definitely be enough for them to do the whole rounds all the way up to the Zora. Complete it.
So in open mode, you're looking for some kind of weapon early on. You would hope for a sword, but hammer is just as good early on. You just want something that you can kill enemies with, clear some dungeons out, start finding better items.
Yes.
Sometimes it can take several dungeons before you actually get that first sword, so you do have to be able to know what bosses and what enemies you can damage with which weapons.
Oh, starting at the house. Probably going to the South Shore then.
Yeah, and he opted not to pick up additional bombs, so I'm not sure if this is going to end up being a problem for him, but we'll see how it works out for him.
Alright. He will be needing one for Ice Rod Cave as well if he plans to go up there, right?
That's correct. So if he doesn't find any along the way, he will have to save Ice Rod Cave for later.
Oh, gloves! That does not give us much yet.
There is a neat little clip you can do with the hook shot in the dam here, where you can get the chest and the drain the dam in one entrance. ThreeDucks didn't do it, but we can see if KaizenMa will pull it off.
Getting the Redarang, a bit more aim on a stun item. Not much use after that. Oh, he went for it and got it.
It does save you a little bit of time. It can get tricky sometimes. I'm not sure why that is, but usually it's pretty consistent.
Yeah. Oh, no bomb drop from the Modorms. Oh, there's a sword. That's helpful.
And the Quake Medallion. And boots.
And boots! Oh my. So far, not a bad start. But let's see how the seed gets later on. You never know.
So I wonder if ThreeDucks will check his stun prize here, or if he might not realize he's out of bombs.
Yes. Oh my. But is there an enemy here that won't die instantly with the hookshot? I think do the crabs die instantly with the hookshot?
They don't, so he could actually try to stun them and kill them with the sword and see if they drop a bomb. That would be an option.
But it seems like he's not checking that. Easy fake flippers. Have just a little love, and not going to the hobo.
It looks like he's just going to go straight to the waterfall and see what he finds there.
Yes.
KaizenMa will show us what's in Ice Rod Cave.
And I think he also showed us the stun pack as just a heart. Ooh, a bottle. That opens up Sick Kid and good safety with the fairy. Oh my, that's one cheap fairy.
Yeah, not much there, but I wonder when we're going to see our first map check from our runners. Or I guess we did have one, because I see Kevin has expertly marked the crystals for Eastern and Desert.
And we are going to escape now. See what's down there, or at least the first part.
And this is a good option now that they have the sword. They could either do the front half first or the back half because they also have the glove.
Yes, the back half might be a bit tricky without the lamp, though.
Yeah, if you're going to a sequence break, I like to do it from the back, but it is a tricky dark room.
Also, there's the hobo with a very good item, 300 rupees, which opens up Zora now.
Yeah, that's a great find for KaizenMa.
And the reverse fake flippers. It's a very specific fix though, but he's got it. Oh no!
Oh, he went too far and he got a soft lock. This is really unfortunate.
Does he know what to do now?
Yeah, I think he has to actually reset to his last save point, which means he has to redo the everything since Link's house. That's just really unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. As for an escape, I saw we had a full heart, a heart container, but I did not catch the first item. But apparently nothing very important, I'd assume.
ThreeDucks making good use of that hook shot.
Oh!
And getting the bow.
That's not something you usually find early on.
No, but it likely would take him towards Eastern here.
Yes. And those dark rooms are also quite easier if you have to do them.
Yeah, the right side dark rooms are pretty straightforward, but the top one can be a little tricky until you learn it.
Yes. Ah, getting some bombs now, remembering Ice Rod Cave.
That's a smart shop to remember. It doesn't come up often that you need to go there, but when you do, it's nice to know it's there.
Yes. Oh, but apparently he's not going to do that now. Oh, he was... Well, no, he doesn't need them for Sahasrara, but... I guess he just wants them just in case. Never know when you're going to find more.
So KaizenMa is desperately trying to get back to where he was. I'm hoping that he can keep himself composed, because I know as a runner myself, when something goes wrong like that, it's very difficult to keep your head on straight.
Yes, and as we saw a check with Old Man Sahasrapala, our green pendant is in Swamp Palace. Also to note, it appears Kaizen has decided to forego his bottle in the Ice Rod Cave this time.
And also did not go back to Hobo.
Yes. Perhaps he was afraid of trying the reverse fake flippers again. Gonna check the ledge item though. Always some good info to have.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power in this game.
Only 50 rupees though. Could be useful if you're getting close to the 500 and have flippers, but...
I think one of the reasons that he skipped Ice Rod Cave and everything else was just to try to catch up from the time he lost.
Yes.
But if the sick kid has an important item, it might backfire. So we'll have to see.
And we just found the flippers in Eastern Palace. Oh, and a hammer on Bunk Rocks. My,
that's a great find, because that opens up the Dark World for him already.
Yes.
Maybe he can get a little bit of advantage here if he presses it.
And it's also a very strong weapon, doing tempered sword damage, as is said in all the races.
Yeah, absolutely. It has a little bit of a funky hitbox, but if you can work with it and learn it, it's very useful.
Yeah. look at the backside of Escape now. Ooh, the book.
He has
Oh,
book
it's a
and
desert.
the boots, so desert might be calling for him. The only thing he's missing though is a light source
Oh, true.
or fire source.
I guess hitting your sword at the brazier to create a spark won't help him. Oh, look at that nice little arrow refill just before the boss fight.
So KaizenMa is opting to check Hype Cave right away. I like this play. It gives you 5 items to check really quick. We'll see where it goes after that. ThreeDucks is working his way through the dark rooms on the east side of Eastern Palace.
Oh yeah. Some bomb upgrades. Not looking too hype yet. Oh, that's some good money. Oh, and the mirror! Not that.
The mirror.
is
That's
hype.
excellent. An excellent find for early Dark World access because now you can combo a lot of different things.
Yes. He might be able to get an advantage now, depending on how much good stuff. But we have quite a very different routes already.
Yeah, quite the divergence. So ThreeDucks is low on health. I wonder if he'll grab the fairies when you jump off the ledge here, going up to the big key. There's a nice little fairy room. That would be a nice spot to drop into to refresh his health.
Ah, yes, indeed he is. Also a lot quicker than the one in Tower of Hera, thankfully.
Absolutely.
Oh, no mirror. Oh, it was only a piece of heart, the first chest. Alright, Kaizen heading up to get his bow. ThreeDucks hopes to find the enemy with the key.
Looks like he's got the key.
Oh, yes.
It can also be tricky to pick up this pot on the left. The pots are the final boss of Eastern Palace. So I find that if you come from the bottom, it can sometimes be a little bit easier.
Oh,
He's
might
opting
be
to
what he's
reset.
trying.
He's got it.
Alright.
Now KaizenMa gets his bow. So for him, he can actually combo pot and Eastern.
Ooh, very true.
But I don't know how comfortable he is with dark runes in pod.
And going into Dark World dungeons with not a lot of health yet. Oh, you might be going for Dark Rico first as well.
Yeah, and that's also a very good choice. I wonder if he thinks he still has a bottle.
Oh, it
He-
appears
he
that
does.
he does. Oh no.
I think he figured it out.
Yes.
We have our first
Nice.
crystal. ThreeDucks with a pretty clean Armos Knights, and we have a dungeon completed.
Yes. And it appears that he didn't count his items properly because he went all the way through the dark rooms for a compass and the boss only had a map.
Oh, that's a good point. As long as there's not a major progression item on the sick kid, KaizenMa should be okay.
Yeah.
However, that fairy would probably come in pretty helpful as he's exploring the dark world with a low heart count and fighter sword.
All too true.
That's quite the scam of a game that they're running there. A single green rupee is a prize.
That's what happens when you gamble. ThreeDucks getting his book. I wonder if that'll push him towards desert instead.
So looks like he's still going to check the bomb rocks, which might send him in a completely different direction.
And not a bad direction. Or maybe it is. Who knows? It'll open a lot of directions.
I find in this version of the logic that if the randomizer gives you a bunch of items for a single progression dungeon at the same time, it's probably a good idea to go there. So getting the book and the boots together really screams Desert Palace to me.
Especially since even if you find nothing, you clear the dungeon that's a crystal dungeon. If it is
right.
a crystal
The
dungeon.
only hesitation is that they still are lacking a fire source. Well, no, I spoke too soon. KaizenMa just found the lamp in Thieves Town.
Oh my.
So KaizenMa has a lot of really good options available to him right now. He can full clear Eastern, Pod, Desert.
And I missed the map check, but apparently we had one. And Steve's Town appears to be a pendant. I wonder if
pendant Thieves Town is usually a good idea to hop into, but it's just a matter of how many items you get early on, and it's to whether you complete it or not.
Yes. I tend to complete it, because I tend to follow Willard's if you start a pendant dungeon, finish it, but it can bite you back in the ass.
It can certainly not pay off, but I tend to do the same thing. I don't like to leave a dungeon unfinished, especially when there's still so many items to go.
And it appears as Kaizen feels the same way. But that blind fire.
Careful here. He has 2.5 hearts. He does have the blue mail, but most of the enemies in here will do 1 heart of damage to him.
Yes, and he doesn't have any powder or anything. But the stun pack is a heart, if I recall correctly.
Yes, and I don't know if he checked it or if that was ThreeDucks, but he should. Ooh.
Oh boy. Nope. That's a shame. As
Yes.
ThreeDucks makes his way through Darker Eco.
And now KaizenMa is opting to save that for later, or maybe not, if he doesn't need to go back.
ThreeDucks hopping in as well. We'll be getting his lamp.
Another place that would be pretty good to check, even though they cannot complete it right now, is the front half of Skull Woods. There just seems to be a whole lot of progression items in those first few chests there in this version, so I would not be surprised to see one or both of our runners to head there pretty soon.
It's also fairly quick to check it, in comparison to the rest of Skull Woods.
So ThreeDucks got his lamp too. We'll see if he continues on in Thieves Town or if he'll just check the first 4.
And we have a little southwest check as well.
Yeah, so we'll see if KaizenMa just continues on the south route and all the way to Pod and Eastern. That seems like a pretty reasonable and good play. Another play he could make is to mirror at Bomba's tablet and read it. He can't actually get the item, but he can find out what it is and then jump off and continue into Desert. Both of those would be pretty good plays.
He appears to be going the direction of Eastern.
He does.
So yeah, probably gonna do the 2-in-1.
Yeah. If he goes on over to the hammer pegs over here, looks like it.
Now, will he start with Eastern or Pod? Because he could just use the mirror in front first.
I would probably do Eastern first, just because it's easier, and you might get items that will help you out in Pod. Our tracker Kevin has noted that all of the pendant dungeons are full clearable right now. So maybe we could get a pedestal check at some point soon. That would be very interesting.
So far, we've only had one pedestal seat on the tournament, right? I believe. Always time for a second.
I know the secondary tournament had one.
Oh. Oh, ThreeDucks gonna do his hype cave now? Not
Yeah,
gonna
so
be
he'll get
disappointed.
his mirror. KaizenMa is opening up Pod.
Also comboed in Sahasrara back room with the good mirror position.
Yeah, so just that alone will make up some of that time he lost with that unfortunate soft lock.
Yes. Oh, going straight to Pod. Oh, the frames are precious.
So it looks like ThreeDucks is doubling back to the south of Graveyard, or south of Grove Cave.
Oh yes, he has the mirror only now.
Now, Pod is still a good play for him, but I wonder if he'll choose to go there or Desert or somewhere else, since he already did the Eastern.
Oh, hoping not to take the heart. Don't need. Oh, no.
Oh. Thought about it a little bit more. Yeah, if you're only going to go out of the way for about 5 seconds to pick up a hard container, it's usually a good idea.
Yes. Oh, getting back right on top of the plant. He's close to the desert, so he could go there. And also check the tablet, but...
So we're starting out with 2 small and 1 big key in Pod.
Yeah.
4 of the first 6 chests have to be small keys, but oftentimes you'll find 5, or maybe even 6.
Never know.
This is a very hard seed to route because our runners got they had a really weak Kakariko, but then a very broad, the next couple chests got them all over the place, and they have so many options available.
But that makes an interesting race, in my opinion. A lot of divergences.
If they were to find the myths soon, it would really open it up.
ThreeDucks going to Pod as well.
Yeah, that's a really good play. Anytime you can full clear a crystal dungeon, and it's in the logic even, since they have the lamp, it's a good idea to do so. And the good thing with Pod is, since they have the bow, the fight against King Helmasaur is not too bad as long as they can get the mask off.
Yes. And then getting the mask off shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, they have a sword too, which makes it a little bit of an easy mode to do.
Yeah.
Still not much by way of items here, though. So KaizenMa has a lot of item spots left, and we'll get him rapid fire here.
And he just found a new item spot by finding the mushroom.
Yep, fetch quests.
And if he finds the Cane of Samaria, we have learned that he can use powder with it.
Yeah, the powderless powder is a very new trick and very interesting in its application.
Yes. It can also be used with powder itself if you run out of magic. So remember, safety, kids.
Really coming up empty in Pod.
Yes. Still some chests more, but
I think we only have one more item, and King Helmasaur has it. Unless I was miscounting.
Nope. He doesn't have the map yet, though.
Oh wow, okay.
So, did he skip a chest, or did he miscount?
I must have missed one.
He,
I think he
just
got them all.
Yeah, so he got them all. He just found the compass and needs the map, so he might have miscounted as well.
Oh, the map's probably on King Helmasaur.
Yes, I think opening the big chest was a miscount.
Oh, yep. Gotcha. Well, he probably just didn't have any good items, so he thought he must be missing something, you know?
Oh, true.
But like we said before, at least they'll get a crystal out of this and be their second crystal. Well, it'll be the second crystal for ThreeDucks.
Yeah. It's an item hunt and, you know, something to progress you, so there's no reason not to do it, unless if you don't feel very geared for it.
Now the turtle room using only the hammer can be a little bit tricky, but we'll see how our runners do here.
Yeah, no. Oh, there's the last hit, of course. No big issues though.
Yeah, honestly, not bad at all. And the blue nail helps out a lot on this fight. King Helmasaur would do 2 hearts of damage with every hit. Now he'll just do 1.
And with that many hearts, he shouldn't have any problem. Helmasaur is a very slow boss.
So ThreeDucks is making his way into the dark maze, about to be disappointed. Nice fight from KaizenMa.
Yes. And there he goes, stealing Helmasaur's lunch.
And it looks like ThreeDucks wasn't counting either.
Oh yeah. Maybe being in the race might be getting a bit nervous.
Or they're just not used to having the items line up like that.
True as well.
So they've checked very similar locations so far, so we'll see about what the gap is when they both finish their respective dungeons right here.
Yes. At this point, I believe they can go to Death Mountain or do the Zora stuff with the flippers as well.
Yep, and desert is still an option.
Also true.
And, you know, believe it or not, that Green Pendant Swamp Palace is also an option for both of our runners now.
But nobody wants to do Swamp Palace with a fighter sword.
No, but they do have Hookshot going in, so, you know,
Yes.
Hookshot is a great weapon for in there.
And they might find another sword in there.
So this is feeling a lot like it could be a pedestal seed. I'm not sure what item it could be, but with all the pendant dungeons clearable and not a lot of items showing up, it very well could be.
It could definitely be either of the rods. Cane,
It's
Titan mitts, even the flute. Yeah, flute, medallion. A lot of options for pedestal at this point. Still a lot of locations to check.
So I wonder if either of our runners would, you know, have that idea that, wow, there's a lot of dungeons I can clear that have to be pendants. Maybe I should go check that pedestal.
They're gonna be finishing their dungeons in pretty similar times.
Yeah, it seems like KaizenMa definitely closed the gap. He recognized that he had all three items in Eastern, so he went straight to the back.
Yes. But I do believe they're equal on location checks right now.
Yes, I believe so. So it will be interesting. They probably might go up Death Mountain now, but they could go make their way to Skull Woods and actually check the pedestal. They could also check King's Tomb. It looks like KaizenMa's going to check the pyramid and maybe Catfish.
Too true. As ThreeDucks appears to be first gonna climb up Death Mountain. In which he'll be able to clear the entirety of the light world side of it. Except for Mimic Cave.
There are quite a few items available for ThreeDucks.
Yes.
He'll even be able to read the ether tablet to see what's there.
Yes, Kaizen has also the mushroom to cash in. So might do the
good route to take.
Yes. Always good when you can strike both off. And he can even continue from there to Zora.
That's right, he wasn't able to go there before because he lost his rupees to the soft lock.
Oh, not setting up the mirror bonk for the quicker screen transition. Nice safety. Oh no,
Getting rock blocked.
Those damn squirrels.
Heading into Paradox Cave.
Why is it located there? The entrances don't make sense. Oh, not much on the first room. Ooh, nice. Frozen on the bank. Ah, just a little love. Those damn troll dorms. Oh, a flute.
So that doesn't really open anything quite yet without the Titan's Mist, but it does make it a lot easier to get around.
Yeah. It's gonna be quite a time advantage for him. The single arrow.
Validation arrow. The run is validated. KaizenMa wins.
Going to Spiral Cave now, so he might not check hair, or he might just plan on do that afterwards.
Yeah, it's interesting to skip Hera. But like we said before, there are so many options available right now that you know it's tough to decide which ones you want to focus on.
True. And Kaizen, could he be trying to get the north of Hyrule from this side?
Yeah, I would imagine he's trying to combo in King's Tomb and the Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah. But a far round way to go.
It would be interesting if he continues this all the way to Skull Woods.
True. And hopefully getting us a pedestal check there. I guess that king really liked explosions.
Looks like ThreeDucks is headed into desert.
Oh, not passing by Hagina yet.
Probably planning to do that on the way out.
Yes, most likely. Just drop down the ledge. And some money for his troubles. Recoup what Zora took.
Looks like KaizenMa might actually be heading to Skull after a bumper cave check.
Well, he will check, yeah, first bumper cave. Hard to say if he will, but quite likely at this point. Oh, cape not going to be required for that. And
nope, he's
exiting out.
Doing something else. He also could have mirrored there and headed up Death Mountain, so it'll be interesting to see what he wants to do.
True. Oh, and there's our validation rupee in desert.
I think they're really going to need to start diving into these pendant engines pretty soon. Yep, we already had both validation rubies and validation arrows, so very kind run for our runners today.
Ooh, the shovel. I wonder what rabbit hole that will take him to. And apparently Kaizen is going up Death Mountain. Forgetting he could simply mirror. And ThreeDucks apparently not counting his items.
Yeah, mirroring from the Dark World to head up Death Mountain is not a play that standardly comes up, so he probably just didn't realize it.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see if KaizenMa heads into Hera while he's up here. He does seem to be skipping Spectacle Rock Cave for now.
True, he might do the full loop around. Go up, down, and up through Spectacle Cave to Hera. Gonna get his flute real soon.
So ThreeDucks has a fairly vanilla landmolus fight unless he opts to use the hammer.
Oh yeah. Very hard to hit it with the hammer due to its dinky hitbox, but a lot of damage. Oh, are you gonna just try using arrows?
Yeah. KaizenMa got his flute, and ThreeDucks is doing vanilla landmolus, which is probably in the vanilla game one of the harder bosses to optimize. And you're seeing why right now.
Oh yes, very low damage and very random.
One thing you might want to do is just stand off to the side of those dirt piles when they're coming up and just time it right so you can just rapid fire a few arrows into the head.
Got one
There
down.
we go, just like that. You got it pretty good there.
Yes. Oh, and Kaizen also heading out of Death Mountain, or just quickly going to the left side.
So ThreeDucks gets his crystal. That's his third.
He's ahead on crystals, but he might be behind if it's a pedestal seed. If Kaizen decides to do Hera.
That's very true, and he might actually just do the overworld exploration that KaizenMa had done in the meantime. But KaizenMa seems to be safe quitting.
It's not going to Hera. Probably gonna activate his flute right now. And we'll see where he goes from there. Oh, red mayo at Agina. Not necessary, but always gonna be fun to get it.
So I think ThreeDucks has a bunch of pendant dungeons and a bunch of overworld ahead. And I think if KaizenMa goes and does desert, he'll just be staring down some pendant dungeons.
Yes, indeed. Now, which ones do they go for first? Oh, ThreeDucks hasn't turned in his mushroom yet.
I think it would be a good play if you realize that all you have left is pendant dungeons, would be to go check that pedestal so you know going in whether you should full clear all of them.
Oh yes, most definitely. And also get it out of your head already, because you're probably thinking that it can be a pedestal seed. Yes, Steve Stan and Hera would definitely be wise to have already done, as Kevin has pointed out. They're both quick. Oh, and ThreeDucks hasn't checked the shovel yet as well. That could have something.
That's very true. And it used to be the case that people would try to avoid pendant dungeons and just focus on crystals and overworld, but that's really changed, especially in this version of the logic. So dipping into those pendant dungeons is usually required. It's very rarely the case that you're not going to get at least one progression item, sometimes up to 5 or 6 in pendant dungeons. So it would be a good idea to start checking them out.
Too true indeed. Could he be running towards the pedestal? Or simply going the dark world?
Oh, he's going a different direction. I think he's checking his shovel.
Oh, yes. Let's see if the shovel will save him from pendant dungeons, at least for a little bit. Nope. Oh,
looks like ThreeDucks will get his bottle here. And we'll finally figure out what Sick Kid had. This is good. It looks like ThreeDucks is using the portal.
No, he already been to Zora. Oh, using the portal to return to...
I thought he might be, but it appears so.
He didn't check Hobo yet.
Oh, yes.
That's what he's doing.
Oh, he'll get some more rupees.
Yes. Get all that Zora took.
KaizenMa also using vanilla strats, not opting to use the hammer.
Understandable.
Yeah, when you run Rando, you can really get too accustomed to using the rods or the silver arrows on this fight. Although KaizenMa did a really good job.
Yeah, rather quick. Not bad. More 300 rupees. That money's full of germs.
Not hurting for money at this point.
I think he got 300 rupees drops all at once.
Yeah, I think outside of the bottle, we got 3 in a row. Maybe a pedestal check?
Nah. Oh, he might go to the pedestal after checking the beginning of school. If he decides to do that. Kaizen also gonna get his bottle now. Oh no, finishing thieves he might be as well.
That's also a good option. ThreeDucks is checking the North Dark World because he hasn't done that yet.
Right. Seems like they really don't want to go into pendant dungeons.
Yeah, and it's understandable, but I would really recommend in this version of Logic that they make that decision pretty soon. I mean, Swamp is sitting out there with its 7 items, if you include the green pendant.
True. Although that one is one that takes longer to complete as compared to the others.
It definitely does, although for Hera you have a longer travel time to get up there, and Thieves Town they already have half cleared, so there's reasons to not want to go to all of them, but they need to pick one and go to it at this point.
Yeah. Yes, at their current location, probably Swamp. ThreeDucks not wanting even more 300 trophies.
And they can still do the front half of Skull here, so we'll see if KaizenMa opts for that.
He might.
Looks like he might.
Nope, this is their first dip into school. Ooh, powder.
Very nice safety item and a nice fetch quest for him.
Oh, yes. And he got a key, so he won't be needing to visit the Room of Bad Luck. And there's the big key.
Looks like he'll be doing the bomb jump.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he was a pixel low.
He has the boot, so he could try using that, but you'd have to time it instead of lining up. Oh, and ThreeDucks went into Skull as well.
So despite the number of options available, our runners have been taking very similar routes overall.
Yes. Oh no, grabbed by the hand. Yeah, they're basically tied.
So this is a really tough room to deal with.
Especially with the fighter sword.
You might want to pull out his boomerang. That can stun the Gyptos for him for a little bit. Oh, that's
no.
unfortunate.
Restoring his health.
He's going to use his fairy, though.
Oh.
Oh, ThreeDucks having the same problem.
Decided to use the hammer for more damage, but that knocked him back. Or rather, the other one knocked him back. Alright, both dead though. Oh, and for both.
Just sink here, man.
It's a statue pulling competition. All of that for a comp. Now, will he go check the pedestal? Oh, appears as not.
You could mirror from this side and walk over.
Oh, true as well. ThreeDucks going from the other way.
Here we go. Pedestal hype.
Is it gonna be a synced up pedestal check? Maximum health increase. Saved by the bell.
So now he has a choice to make between pendant dungeons.
Yes.
Well, he could check the Batcave first if he wants to.
Quick check. Oh, might be going straight into swamp.
That's a good play as well.
Let's see if ThreeDucks will do the same.
So I think both of our runners will learn the lesson in this seed that you don't need to avoid pendant dungeons like the plague.
Especially if Hera ends up having an item they need.
And I think they're both making the same choice here.
And apparently we saw the boomerang that Kaizen didn't pick up on his second way through.
In here.
Especially in the boss, if he doesn't get a sword upgrade, he's gonna have to have a lot of menuing. Oh, Titans! On the very first chest.
This is an interesting decision point. Looks like he's planning to continue.
Yes. Let's see if ThreeDucks comes with the same choice.
The myths alone only give access to the Mire area and the Dark Old Death Mountain chest. So there are a few items, but with how many items they have left, I think this is a good decision to just keep going. Just clear the back and get that green pendant.
Yes, it's appears as both are continuing. Or not. Oh. Thinking about it. ThreeDucks is out of there.
Yeah,
let's see if it pays off.
Key to the game is to maximize your items with minimizing your backtracking. So right now they're in a very tough spot.
Yes. These are the gambles that can make or break a race.
So what we don't know is if they could actually get into Mire right now. They could possibly check items in there with Quake, but we just don't know that yet.
And we'll also find out in Turtle Rock if he can enter or not. Oh, that's the Superior Cane? Oh wow, 2 invincibility items on the same cave.
That's a neat trick there.
Oh, according to the logic, they can check Spike Cave now.
That's true. So maybe ThreeDucks made the right call. Still remains to be seen, but you know, he has a lot to check. So.
Oh, it's Quake for Turtle Rock.
Yeah,
you won't be able to do anything inside without the worst cane.
Yeah. Plus, no fire rod, no ice rod. It would be a rough.
Yeah.
rough to go with it, even if he had the red cane.
Nothing on Hookshot Cave so far. Nope. Does he remember that the floating island is useless? He does.
So KaizenMa is getting a red rupee on left side of swamp, and something else, maybe value? No, big key.
Yeah, the big key. At least he doesn't have to backtrack on the swamp itself.
That's true. That's when you full clear from the start, you can avoid doing things like having to go all the way back to the left side to grab that big key and walking all the way back to the middle.
We're checking Spike Cave as well. Oh, another red rupee.
Just a little bit of love in Spike Cave.
Nothing on value yet on either side. Might be going for Meyer area.
Meyer would be probably my first check, but they also have the whole Smith sequence and the hammer picks.
True. We also have the other pendant dungeons. Oh, a Master Sword. That's useful. Coming up right up to the boss. Although he might still opt for the menu.
Yeah, and if they find another sword upgrade elsewhere, Kaizen might have a big advantage throughout the rest of this match because of that Master Sword.
Yes. Coming back for the fairy. Getting trolled. Oh,
It also unlocks progression with the tablets, which they can get to both with the mirrors, so...
True as well.
In fact, I would not be surprised to see him go right on over to Bombo's tablet when he finishes this.
And go from... Let's see what our little frog friend has for us as well, after the X game.
The Master Sword Argus is a little bit better than Fighter Sword Argus, but it's still a little bit of a pain.
2 swings instead of 2 spins for Blum. And after it, we'll use just normal spins.
Yeah, Master Sword spins are probably his best option right now. He could try to do hammer hits, but it would be the same damage and much harder to hit this. So.
And bow would probably not even be a good idea. Nope. You could still get something out of value out of the green pendant, but...
He got
he
two
did get the
great items
sword.
in here. He got the Master Sword, the Titan Smiths, and he might get something with the green pendant, so we'll see. ThreeDucks really hasn't found much since he left Swamp.
Indeed. There he is on the tablet. Oh no, a B-Tor. And a shield.
I would expect KaizenMa to cash in that green pendant fairly soon, although he appears to be checking some Titan Smith locations first.
ThreeDucks takes the chest for a walk. Oh, did you catch what the
Bombos.
medallion was? Oh, bombos. Do not have that.
So Bombos would open up both Meyer and Ice Palace if we were to find that soon.
True indeed. Oh, but there's
Or
the
that.
fire rod.
So now Ice Palace is open. We'd expect our runners to make their way there fairly soon. As soon as they both get the fire up.
Oh, and
the
there's
cave.
King of Samaria.
So the Titans Mitts unlocked 3 different locations. ThreeDucks did 2 of them and found nothing, and Kaiser went to the first one and found lots of value.
But he appears to go and check the others as well.
So it's interesting that he's coming up here now, because we know from ThreeDucks that it's Quake to get into Turtle Rock, and now he has the cane and the fire rod.
Oh, yes. I wonder if he'll go inside. I'd probably go inside as well.
I'm not sure how comfortable KaizenMa is with Silverless or Master Sword Silverless, but if he is, we're 2 items away.
Where could ThreeDucks be going? He seems to be a bit undecided on where to go.
I think he's going to go finish off Skullwood. That's not a bad choice. I think there's still 1 item here, and it is a crystal that he has to complete at some point.
A bit low on magic, though. You never want to be low on magic when entering it.
Yeah, since he has 2 bottles, it might have been a good idea to actually go fill them up. He has plenty of rupees.
Let's see what our other tablet has for us. Oh!
So that,
you need
that
a sword
is
to get a
huge
sword.
now.
Oh my.
That's really bad for ThreeDucks and really great for KaizenMa.
Especially if you also need a sword to get butter, which then would mean that he would have to go back into a swamp eventually. That is, if he doesn't find a Master Sword somewhere else.
So it looks like ThreeDucks is going for it. We'll see how he does here. With his items, it will be a bit of a hard fight with Mothula, but at least he has Red Mail and 13 Hearts.
Yes, but especially with not a lot of magic, you won't be able to use the Fire Rod much or at all.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's unfortunate. So KaizenMa looks to be making the ice play.
Yeah. At this point, I don't know if visiting Hera would really be that useful since they have a lot more spots, but I guess it will save on travel time later if you do have to.
Yeah, so if they jumped into Hera and they found the ice rod, then they would be able to full clear Turtle Rock while they were up on Death Mountain. So I think it would have been a great move. It doesn't take that long. All the Light World dungeons are pretty quick.
True.
But The exception is if the basement has big key. That does make Hera a bit longer.
Or an item as well. There's very little hearts left. And very little magic. Not even gonna pick another heart, oh my. He's feeling brave. Oh no.
Yeah. I wonder if he's just feeling tilted by this seed about how they got, this roadblock for a while.
Oh. Oh, he did have a fairy.
He's still going to need to take this really slowly and carefully.
Yes.
Those spikes do 1 heart of damage no matter what. Looks like KaizenMa is skipping the bomb jump.
He's gonna full clear it, so maybe he might prefer it. Oh, ThreeDucks does it. Oof.
Nice fight.
For the bug net.
Moth had the bug net.
It's not a net for catching bugs, it's a net that bugs use.
But he got a crystal, he got something checked off his list, and now he can decide what to do next.
And now he's gonna fill up his bottles. And that bee was just a common bee.
KaizenMa is working his way through Ice Palace. I don't think we've found anything incredibly useful yet.
Well, I haven't looked too much at it, but there's still some chests to find, and only 3 total items means you're gonna find a lot of not items.
ThreeDucks making the same play. So ThreeDucks is keeping pace with the crystals, but it's really going to come back and hurt him if he doesn't find the Master Sword somewhere.
Yes. Oh, half magic. That would have been useful for Mothula. Oh no.
Got the second clip, so it's all good. And not doing the bomb jump is a good option if you're just not that comfortable with that consistent with it, because if you fail the bomb jump just once or twice, then leaving the pegs down if you're full clearing is probably just as fast. Looks like ThreeDucks is going to do the bomb jump.
Yeah. Do they have another chest left? Or I think those were all. Oh, does ThreeDucks know that the spacing with the fighter sword is different than without the other swords? Okay, it appears that he
Looks like he
does.
got it. Yeah, I actually use the shadows for the bomb jumps because I use atypical sprites, so it definitely helps in that situation. You might do the same thing.
I do believe that Code Stair has an item. We already saw both the map and compass. Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Given that KaizenMa still has a small key.
Use temper, just a couple of swings. Too hard. There you go. Pretty clean fight. Bombos.
Off to Meyer.
The ice rod being the only thing he still has to find.
Yeah, one item away from go mode, assuming he is comfortable with Silverless.
Yeah. Into Meyer he goes.
So it will be interesting if the Ice Rod doesn't show up in Meyer, if he chooses to do the T-Rock gamble, or if he chooses to keep looking at elsewhere.
T-Rock having a lot of items, I imagine he tried that, but you never know. Now, Misery Meyer. A lot of chests, but very little items.
Yeah, the joke is that there are many different ways you can clear Misery Meyer, and all of them are wrong.
All I know is that the big key is always in vanilla, even with the different logic.
So, ThreeDucks is making his way through ice. It'll be interesting to see if they don't find a sword, what his decision making is going into the last couple dungeons here. I think we just saw the first item on KaizenMa, Red Rupee. So if that's the case, it's fairly unlikely they'll find another sword along the way at this point.
Yeah. Do you need the Master Sword only for Ganon, or do you need it to enter Ganon's Tower? I can't remember right
Just
now.
for Ganon. You can full clear the tower all the way to Agatu, and with just a fighter sword.
Well, if he doesn't find another sword, I'm pretty sure he'd do that before checking any pendant dungeons again.
Actually, I guess if Skullwoods and Meyer and T-Rock are all pendants, you could actually clear Ganon's Tower swordless if you had the bug net.
Found
That would be a very fringe situation, though.
Oh, at this point, somebody probably got it already. Let's see, he's still missing an item in Meyer, then let's see if it's here or in the boss. Or they're also right side still.
Yeah, he didn't check the right side yet.
Especially since he just got the big key.
ThreeDucks gets his bombos.
Probably making his way to Meyer as well. just a spot. Might refuel on his one potion before as well.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all.
But at least he has the fighter sword.
Oh,
silvers! Not even gonna have to check the right side.
Does need to be careful with his health though. Although it does have the powder.
ThreeDucks will especially be thankful for those silvers as well.
Absolutely. Silvers makes Vitreous a pretty trivial fight.
Yeah. Just machine gun him down. And neither of them are having troubles with number of arrows, so it's also good.
Yeah, they're pretty well stacked. Nice cane dash strats by KaizenMa.
Oh yeah, getting some fairies.
So I don't believe that KaizenMa has done the Smith sequence or the hammer pegs yet, so it would be interesting to see if he decides to do those before he opts for Turtle Rock.
Oh, he also has. Oh no. He still has Skull Woods as well.
That's true. So then he'll be right in the area. Maybe he will do those things. Very clean fight. This feels like version 18 right now, the hunt for the ice rod.
Oh yeah.
Actually, a lot of versions between were also the hunt for the ice rod.
It's always the hunt for the ice rod. There's no escaping it.
It doesn't happen as much anymore, but
True.
yeah, it's much less frequent than it used to be, but it does still happen. So KaizenMa's going to finish off his Skullwoods Crystal, and ThreeDucks is finish off Misery Mire, and they'll each have a choice to make after that. So where do we think the ice rod is going to end up being?
I'm gonna go with Turtle Rock just because that'll be kind of nice and friendly, and a lot of spots there. What would you say? Your guess?
I'm going to go with Hera Basement.
Oh, evil and mean. I like it. You gonna go straight for the boss, or yeah, not gonna check the side chest first. Huge down big chest. Also, well, all spots left are trolley.
Yeah, there isn't much overworld, I don't think, between our two runners that we haven't seen, but there are quite a few dungeon spots.
believe we've seen all over orb locations with both. If you don't count Mimic Cave as overworld.
KaizenMa is having a much easier time with Tempered Sword.
And a lot more magic.
Picking up his bug net.
Now just remember he already found an item in Skull Woods. Seems like it. This ThreeDucks also makes it's a very simple fight with silvers.
Nicely done. And it does look like KaizenMa is electing to go back to Village of Outcasts to do the Smith and Hammer Pegs.
And maybe even Thieves Town.
And Fat Fairy is open, so that's a good point. The double-chested fairy, if we're being politically correct.
Getting the Smiths first.
ThreeDucks is coming up on Death Mountain.
Oh, he could be going to... Yeah, I think he's going to TR then. Or maybe he's gonna...
That or Hera.
check Hera.
Looks like TR.
Or he's just having a friendly chat with the squirrels.
So ThreeDucks really needs to get lucky on finding a sword somewhere along the way here.
Yeah.
I mean, if he finds a sword and the Ice Rod in T-Rock, he will take the lead.
Oh yeah. That would be quite a beautiful comeback if it were to happen.
Right, and the other sword was an Ether Tablet, so if he remembers to check that before popping into Ganon's Tower, he could be on par with KaizenMa.
I just see, is Kaizen also gonna take the purple chest?
I would imagine that since he's doing this, he's probably going to finish off the overworld. Oh, maybe not. No, looks like he's going to T-Rock. Either that or Hera.
He might be going to Hera.
And that's not a bad call.
We'll have to see if he goes straight past it or not. A Hera check.
First Hera check at 134. That's not the first item you want to see, though.
Not at all. But if this is the Ice Rod... Oh, putter!
Oh! ThreeDucks is in trouble.
Oh, the ThreeDucks just found the Ice Rod!
He got the Ice Rod, but he needs
Ice
to
Rod.
leave. He can't go into Ganon's Tower. He's not going to find the sword. Well, he can clear Ganon's Tower, but he'll need to go find a sword afterwards.
He could also just hope for a sword in Hera.
So this is very, very exciting. KaizenMa is in Go mode. Well, he'll be in Go mode as soon as he goes into TR. ThreeDucks needs to find a sword. We know where they are. It's just a matter of what he decides to do from here.
I think if they had gone into Hera, they'd have a sword. You have 2 swords super early.
Yep. So Ice Rod and T-Rock. That's a throwback. So ThreeDucks does have a couple blue potions. When you have Fighter Sword, or Master Sword for that matter, your best weapon in T-Rock is usually just a Fire Rod.
Yeah. Well, once Kaizen fights his Ice Rod, he at least will have... He will just get to run through everything.
That's true. ThreeDucks will still be checking all the chests in here.
Yeah.
So KaizenMa might actually catch up by the time they get to Trinex.
If not, he'll definitely catch up in Ganon's Tower, since we know there's no sword there. And if he does go into Hera, he'll definitely get it be quicker.
And I don't know if ThreeDucks has practiced Hammer Trinex. It should be the way he should go about killing him, but you know, it can be a little bit tricky with the hitboxes if you haven't practiced it, so hopefully he has.
At least he has a lot of safety potions for some mistakes.
That's true. I think he can do spins, but that would be very difficult to do with a Fighter Sword.
It would take a lot as well.
Yeah, you have to keep, using your rods, and yeah, it would be very difficult. So we know ThreeDucks is not going to find a sword here, but we'll get to see what's in the cave.
Could be another bottle. Kaizen with his Ice Rod, which means he's now in Go mode.
We have Go mode, ladies and gentlemen.
Bombs in Mimic Cave.
So really the play of the match was KaizenMa continuing on in Swamp Palace after finding the Titan Smiths.
Oh yeah. And the play of the match could have been going into Hera as well.
Yeah, just walking 10 feet into Hera would have gotten them a sword upgrade, but that's
Happens.
okay. What I worry about is if ThreeDucks does manage to check Hera, that Tempered Sword is right there on Ether Tablet, but I doubt that he'll actually go over and check. He'll just be so happy to get a sword that he can use for Ganon.
It'll be so close, too. Yeah, fairly close.
And ThreeDucks check at the laser bridge. Since KaizenMa was able to steal a key, I don't think he'll have to come down here at all.
Oh, nothing really useful. Oh, Kaizen is still opting to go around. Wants to check the big chest, I guess.
Yeah, so if the keys, the two small keys, are specifically in the chest that you skip and in the big chest, then you could get locked out if you steal the key. So it's still a good safety to just go and check it. So ThreeDucks did not opt to take the safety exit for reload, so maybe he is comfortable with his hammer Trinex.
But he does have another potion still. Maybe two, I don't remember if he used one. Yeah.
Seems to have it pretty well.
Yeah. Shouldn't have much problems. Just one head down. Has to wait for the explosions to swap runs. Oh no, not in the ice.
Yeah, hammer Trinex when you're on the ice is actually a little bit more difficult. With half magic and the fire rod, you can actually just spam the fire rod and damage the ice head. That might be a decent idea right now.
Ah, no, he got it. Opting to do spins on the last phase. Maybe a combination of
I'll need to hit with 5 hammer strikes here. Got 2.
He's gotta play it patient.
There he goes.
There we go. Oof. Now, will he check Hera?
Yeah, I'm thinking he goes right into GT, but we'll see. KaizenMa is right on his heels, but he has Butter Sword. So, what chest do you think we're gonna find the key?
I'm gonna go with my lucky number 18, which is not lucky for them.
I've seen too many tile rooms lately. I'm gonna go with chest 2.
Oh, feeling nice. And saying that chest 1 has the small key as well. Do the quick 1-2. Yes, let's see. Could come down to a... Well, ThreeDucks is gonna have to full clear it, hoping for a sword. Fire shoot. There's a small key.
Looks like ThreeDucks is opting to go left side.
Bob lives.
So the question is, if ThreeDucks does not find, well, we know he won't find a sword, but when he finds a big key, will he, just start climbing the tower, clear the tower, and then search for a sword, or do something
It's a
else?
possibility. That way, if he has to leave, he will at least not have to come back if he finds a sword outside.
And the tricky thing with the current fill logic is that a certain number of items in Ganon's Tower are junk items. So, generally speaking, you're going to have less of a chance of finding a sword here in a chest than elsewhere if you have something else that's chest dense. Now, he doesn't have much chest dense outside of here, so it's a really hard call for him to make.
And he might be expecting that there will be a lot of swords here since he only has fighter.
Yeah.
Oh, chest number 8.
There's the big key. He has to continue on for now. Ooh, we're gonna hit the switch. So KaizenMa is gonna get its big key.
He'll probably just head straight up.
Yeah,
No
there's
reason
nothing
to-
he needs.
Dilly-dally. Oh, apparently the race on the other randomizer stream had the big key on the same chest. Wonder if they're using the same key. Hopefully not.
So I really do wonder what ThreeDucks is going to do. He can climb the tower with his fighter sword and kill Agate 2, but then he would have to go search for his sword. That's an option. He could also just leave before climbing the tower and try to find it. Oh, he's climbing the tower.
Oh.
Right, so that's a good point that Cal was making in chat. There are 2 pendant dungeons that have a sword upgrade, and one that doesn't, Thieves Town. They did not full clear Thieves Town, so it could easily be his first choice.
Good. Especially since it's so close to a flute point.
I would hope his first choice would be to go mirror right into Hera. But well, no, he's climbing the tower.
Yeah,
so if he left the tower now, he could mirror and go into Hera. But he'll be put on the pyramid. So yeah, it'll be a tough decision for him. I have unfortunately done the same thing in the past. Climbed Ganon's tower with the fighter sword, hoping to find it, and it just did not happen.
It's gotta be rough.
Yeah, and these rooms are difficult. He does have silver arrows. He does have half magic fire rods, so he has good options for these rooms. But it's nice to have the sword as backup. KaizenMa just made a real good working gauntlet.
He's gonna silver arrow those worms. Not gonna be easy for ThreeDucks here. You need a lot better aim with the bow than you need with the sword.
Yeah, the silver arrow shots can definitely be tough in these rooms, especially with the conveyors and the guys just having random movements.
Yeah. All the lasers coming at you.
It takes a long time to get comfortable with the gauntlet, and that's when you have a better sword, you know? So this is not easy.
Skipping the ferry.
Skipping the ferry. That's a bold choice.
He does have 2 bottles of blue goop. Now just 1. Kaizen still just dashing through everything. That's an interesting way to clear that room with the torches. I've never seen that way.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
Completely ignoring all the other chests. I guess he doesn't need them at all.
Doing a fighter sword Ganon's tower clear is very difficult, and ThreeDucks is doing a good job of it. It's just unfortunate that it's not going to end up working out for him. Ooh, we almost had a fall there.
Will he at least validate the run?
Red
Yes, he
Root.
did. The classic. And here we go to Agate. Let's see how good he does it. A double. A 0.
That timing was just off on that last shot that came in.
Yeah. Oh,
Now he seems to be a little bit off cycle, so it might be difficult.
those blue balls were quite unlucky.
Yeah, everything's off cycle now, so he's only going to get like 1 or maybe 2 opportunities on each cycle.
What
gotta
if
be
he had...
careful.
Oh yeah. Dying now would be good. Okay. Oof. That was
That
close.
would be huge.
I would give ThreeDucks quite a chance to catch up if he did.
Got a Hammer Moldworm 2 fight. He's doing really well with it.
Oh. Now, Kaizen probably gonna go in.
Almost gave him commentator's curse, but he pulled through.
Oh no, he fell down. Guess he's going for the no-hit Ganon.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well give it a shot, I suppose, since you're right there.
I wonder if he has a fairy at least, though.
He might still have that fairy.
And Ganon, with his very insightful knowledge about slugs. Oh, is he gonna pull the no-hit Ganon? He already on phase 3.
Yeah, Buttersword can make some quick work to Ganon, so if he just avoided the bats, he should be pretty good.
Ready to double? Wow. Oh boy. Ooh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So
Oh.
close. That's it. GG to KaizenMa.
Got done with an official SRL time of 1 hour 53 minutes and 7 seconds. Ooh. GG. Wonder if we'll be getting him for interviews or not.
So now ThreeDucks doesn't look like he's forfeiting, so he's on his hunt for a sword.
Wonder where he'll go to first. Oh, he might be going to Swamp.
Looks like that is his call, which will get him a Master Sword.
And will he use the Master Sword again? And
I would imagine he would go straight there. Oh no, he's checking the pyramid. Pyramid fairy. That's a good call. It's just not going to work out.
Alright, looks like Kaizen will come in for an interview.
So what do we think the double-chested fairy will have today?
Ooh, disappointment.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
GG.
GG. That was
G.
staying on swamp.
What was that?
Staying on swamp.
GG.
GG. On
Yeah.
swamp. That was
That was the difference in the race.
The swamp
Staying on
play
swamp.
was mostly made because I was on Fighter
Staying on
Sword.
swamp.
If I was on Master Sword or
On
above, I'm
swamp.
immediately leaving
That was
when
the
I get
difference in the
the
race.
when I get the mitts. But because I wasn't, I was like, well, I've got to find a sword upgrade somewhere.
And then with the second sword being on the tablet was really just pushing it in.
Right. It's just
Yeah.
what was it? What do they call it?
And with the
Icing
second
on the
sword
cake, right?
being, yeah, on the tablet was
So
really just
early on, you go to
pushing it.
Hobo, and it doesn't work out for you. How are you feeling at that point?
I'm feeling okay.
Yeah. Huh.
I'm being told that I'm echoing
So
though.
early on, you go to Hobo,
Oh, I'm
and
not.
it doesn't work out
noticing
for you. How are you feeling at that point? I
Okay.
think you sound good.
No, my girlfriend was watching and she's over here gesturing. You're echoing.
Oh, it might be something on the stream.
Like
I think
my
you sound good.
voice isn't picking up anything.
Oh, maybe you're wrecking because you're. Oh, it might be something on the stream.
Yeah, because I'm still not broadcasting to my stream.
Oh.
Did you guys like
maybe
my
you're
pedestal
wrecking
check
'cause
because I was
you're-
scared?
Oh yeah. You had all the items for all the pendant dungeons.
Yep,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just gonna go check.
Within about 30 minutes into the run, you could full clear every single one.
Oh yeah.
I didn't
Got all the
check
items
that
for all the
early, but
pendant
at one
dungeons.
point when we were getting to the point where
Within,
it was very
within
clear I was
about
going to
30
have to
minutes
go into
into the
some
run,
pendant
you could
dungeon
full clear
because we
every
just
single
didn't
one.
have the items to do enough of the pendant dungeons. Sorry, crystal dungeons. I was like, the last 4 seeds I've played in the last week or so have all been pedestal seeds. Let's check this one. So, classic V26, right?
Classic.
Yeah,
Speaking of
Yeah.
pendant dungeons,
Mhm.
both of you took a lot to even try entering one. Even Hera, which was in the way.
Yeah,
You
so-
just not
Yeah.
like checking it if pendant dungeons. If you
Both
don't
of
know
you
if you're gonna
took
need
a
a
lot
pendant
to
dungeon.
even
try
Um,
entering one. Even Hera, which was
so-
in the way.
I did
just
not
not
go into Hera
like checking
early
it
when
if-
I had the chance to.
If you don't
Um,
know if you're gonna
simply
need a
because
pendant
there were other places, and I've noticed this in just playing V26. There's a lot of merit in V26 to just go wherever the highest concentration of items are, equal to the amount of time it would take. Even though there is a slight skewing of items per dungeon. So I don't remember exactly where I went when I could have gone into Hera, but I have to imagine it was somewhere, either an actual dungeon I could complete, or somewhere that had more than 2 items in a quick span of time. That's just how I play personally. It comes back to bite me sometimes, because, sometimes the pendant dungeons have things, but, that was my thinking at that point. I did check it on the way to Turtle Rock, which is where I ended up getting the butter sword. Simply because I did not have the ice route at that point, so I was going to check as many quick things on the way to Turtle Rock as I could to see if the ice route was there.
That makes sense. Both you and your opponent were very hesitant to go independent dungeons, and unfortunately for ThreeDucks, he still has not found a Master Sword. That makes sense.
Ugh.
Both you. and
Well,
your
wait,
opponent,
hold on. Where were they? Are all in weird
very
places, right?
hesitant
There was
to go
one in
independent
Yes.
dungeons,
Swamp.
Swamp.
There was
Unfortunately
one
for
on the
ThreeDucks, he
tablet,
still has
on
not
Ether
found a Master
tablet,
Sword.
and there's one in Hera, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
Swamp.
are some odd places.
both of them being in pendant dungeons, especially,
Right.
and the other
Yeah.
one requiring a pendant dungeon.
If
And
only he
chose
had a. If only he had.
both of
From
them
what
being
I've
in
heard,
pendant
or
dungeons,
what
especially,
my chat is now
and the
telling me
other
now
one
that I'm
requiring
out
a
of
pendant
finished the
dungeon.
race. I'm checking chat, talking to them.
And he chose
Apparently, he was ahead in Ganon's Tower. Just didn't have the sword to finish it. So if he had just maybe gone to Ether Tablet, that this whole race was different, right?
gone to Hera first.
Well, he
Right,
didn't even need to
Yeah,
technically.
you
go
can't
there.
No,
use
he
the
needed-
Ether tablet to.
Ether Tablet had one.
You
Yeah,
can't
but he needs
check that
Master
without
Sword.
Master Sword.
Gone
so,
to Hera first.
He did, oh yeah.
No, you can't.
No,
use
he
the,
needed-
Oh my
Ether
God.
tablet to.
Turn. This is how much I know about
Yeah,
the
but he
game,
needs
check
guys.
that
Master
without
Sword.
Master Sword. So.
How many bonks did I have? It had to be a literal million.
No, 38.
Oh, okay, that's not terrible. It felt like a lot more.
No,
Ugh.
38. Quite an adventure, this scene.
You know, this seed could have been a lot worse. It had moments where it felt like it was going to be a lot worse than it actually ended up being.
Adventure, this scene.
There was a point, yeah, basically once you dove into Swamp and found Titan's Mitts, like everything kind of snowballed from there. So it was really a race to find Titan's Mitts and then, go from there. I just happened to be fortunate enough to go through Swamp, find the Master Sword, and be able to continue from there. So lucky me, I suppose.
The beginning, too, was quite interesting, because you got quite a lot of items in Kakariko and such, and then it led both runners into very different spots,
was
but
quite interesting, 'cause
neither
you
had
got quite
anything.
a lot of items
Right,
in
right.
Kakariko and such. And then
You
led
always
both
get
players,
scared when
both
Kakariko has a million items in it, because
Yeah.
then you're like, oh boy. You have to make decisions, and that's just not what you want to be doing at the beginning of a run, because I actually saw a race earlier where it was simply a race was decided simply because one person checked Uncle in the beginning and one person didn't,
Ooh.
and Uncle's chest ended up having the hook shot, and the second guy never caught up because he was so far behind from the hook shot. So it's it's a crapshoot, but it's fun.
It's like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well,
Is
Have any-
he still going at it?
It
I'm
looks
Yeah.
like
not
he
currently
is making
he
the
finished
right play.
Thieves Town, and now he's going to Swamp.
I am very glad my Thieves Town gamble paid off. I was very worried because I left Thieves Town after only getting one item, and I believe the one item was the flippers.
Lamp was the
Lamp. Yes. Okay, that makes sense. Yes, the lamp, which opened up Pod. Opened up Pod, and it opened up. What else was I
Eastern.
concerned about? Yes.
You got to do both at the same.
Desert Palace.
Yeah. I didn't have book by that point. I think I got book later. I don't remember though.
No, I think you got it pretty early. I think book was on the escape on the backside.
You're probably right. You guys probably paid a little more attention than I did. I was just running.
No, you ran very well, and congrats on your win.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I unfortunately, is it all right if I go, or do you guys want me to stay?
Yeah,
until
no,
he's
feel
done?
free. Do you have any last words? Anything you wish to say?
When is V27, and when can we get more boots in our life? Chris, please.
Well, next time you're gonna get progressive boots. First you get the left feet, then the right feet.
God, no, please no. But no, thank you guys for having me for an interview. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for
I hope-
running.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for having me. I will see you guys for the next race.
See you.
Bye.
Take care.
And everybody, don't forget to follow him. Follow all of our runners, indeed.
Yeah, they're doing a really great job for us, providing some good entertainment. So unfortunately, it looks like he's doing left side first. I think. Oh, maybe not.
Oh.
No, he is. Okay, so I think the sword was in.
Was
Push
one of the
button chest
two
or-
chests. Yeah, no, one
Oh,
of
one
the
of the
two
two
chests
chests.
on the behind. Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll get there eventually.
Yeah. Oh, and he has the fighter sword. He couldn't quite reach the switch.
Yeah, that's something you don't realize until you try it. So I wonder how he's gonna react when he finds that Master Sword in a couple minutes here.
I also wonder if he will go straight to Ganon, or if he will at least want to find another sword just to have an easier time once the race is done.
So we have a lot of races coming up on Randomizer Mania in the secondary tournament, both later tonight and tomorrow. On Randomizer Mania 4 at 10:30 tonight, so just in 15 minutes, we have a race between Ridley Dragon and Bad Moons. And at 12:30, so in about 2 hours from now, we have Dr. Bob Tasic versus Elias 558.91.
Gonna be an exciting night for those who have to stay up late and those in Australia and Europe. Also, don't forget that these times are in Eastern.
Yes, all these times are in the Eastern time zone. And more races will be scheduled throughout the day tomorrow and in through the weekend and really for the next month or so. So, be sure to keep your eye on Randomizer Mania and also Speed Gaming. Both of these tournaments have all sorts of races going all the time.
Remember, Randomizer Mania goes all the way up to 4.
There will probably be times when you can watch 8 different races at the same time. The ThreeDucks is getting really close to his Master Sword now.
I wonder if he will bomb the chest as a revenge. Check the green. I don't know if he will even stay on the dungeon after getting Master Sword. Yeah, he's out of there.
So no crazy reaction. He just getting down to business here, going right back up to the pyramid. Catching a safety ferry, that's a great idea.
Indeed. And let's see.
All right,
His
Master Sword Cannon hype. So he needs to get 12 spins in each of these first 2 phases. The first phase is not too bad, but the Fire Bat phase with Master Sword is just very difficult.
Probably have to take it quite slowly.
Now, one strat he might want to try to use here is he has half magic and the cape, so he could get up right next to Ganon when he's 1 tile away from the wall and really get like 6 good hits in.
Plus, he also has a lot of potions, so it will be. You could use that strat for a long time. I guess he's not opting to it though.
It's one that just might not occur to him right now.
True.
He is doing a good job, though. This is not easy whatsoever.
Getting a bit greedy.
Yeah, the key is to stay patient on this one. There are certain setups where Ganon stands that I don't even take a single spin on him with Master Sword. Just wait for the next setup. Alright, we're through phase 2. He has that fairy, but he still needs to be careful here.
Getting his spins on, so Ganon's not bringing that much fire. Oh yeah, thankfully he has silvers. Getting the torch glitch. Definitely something a lot useful if you have only Master Sword. Oh.
Yeah, that recoil can definitely make it difficult to get the shots lined up, but if he just stays patient, he'll have this.
I'm gonna use the fairy. Thankfully, Ganon waited patiently while frozen.
That's a GG for ThreeDucks.
With an official SRL time of 2 hours, 13 minutes, and 29 seconds.
So, when it comes down to it, continuing in Swamp Palace became a difference of 26 minutes between our runners in this
Oh,
seed.
yeah. Shame, but that's not happening.
That's Randomizer.
Let's see, I think we'll get him for an interview too. You'll see if he can get the mic to work. It's like Kevin's having a bit of fun with the tracker. Hello.
GG.
GG. You appear to be muted.
it looks like you're muted in Discord, ThreeDucks.
Ooh, how's that?
Ah, we can hear you talk, so should be good. GG.
GG. Yeah, I was feeling so smart when I found the myths, and then I mirrored out of Swamp Palace. I'm like, I just saved myself a load of time.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, it was an interesting seed, but I you know, that was definitely a gamble, and it didn't pay off. A gamble that did was going to Turtle Rock that had Ice Rod inside. Didn't expect that, but I was hoping.
So, thing that I talked to Kaizen and I want to talk to you too, is that both of you seem to avoid pendant dungeons a lot.
Yeah, and especially because it was, well, Swamp, I you know, clearing the left side of Swamp takes so long. I really should have gone into Hera, I think. And with Stevestown, I've been kind of, like, that used to be part of my route, is to, like, do basically the whole thing, no matter if it was Pendant or Crystal. But that was costing me a lot of time on some seeds, so I decided to try not doing it.
I see. Yeah, Hera would be a very good play since it had one of the swords in one of the first chests.
Oh no!
And
And
not only that, but if you left Hera and checked Ether Tablet, you would get another sword.
Wow. Oh man. Well, the Ether was in Swamp Palace, I think. Or no. Ether was in Thievestown. Dang.
The Ether Tablet.
Okay. Oh, the tablet, right? Of course. Yeah. I the entire time in Ganon's Tower, I was thinking there's got to be a sword around here somewhere, but turns out no. But I'm excited to go back and watch. Although I assume a lot of it is going to be like, no, go to Hera.
Some parts of it.
Up until Swamp Palace, you had very similar routes, but KaizenMa decided to continue on, and you left, and that really ended up being the difference.
Yeah, it felt when I saw him say done in the chat, I figured that he was, or I thought I might have had a lead at some point, because I felt like I got, there was a point where I felt like I was doing really well, and then as I, was looking around again in his tower, like, if you can't mirror out once you find the big key, you're losing a lot of time, I feel like.
And you definitely did have a lead in the beginning for a while. And, you did have a lead in Ganon Tower as well, but it didn't help that you didn't have a sword.
Yeah, that's ironic, because I watched the same thing happen to Andy in a race, where he skipped Mimic Cave near the end, and it just happened to have the sword. And then he got to the top of Ganon's Tower, and then just, like, ran around in circles. I was like, boy, that would be terrible if that happened to me. Lo and behold. But it was fun. I mean, I just recently got my average time down below, like, 2:30, so I feel like anytime I come under 2:15, I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
And if not for the bad luck, I feel like that could have been even better, so, yeah.
Definitely a lot of good execution you had as well. You killed every boss with just a fighter sword.
I guess. Yeah, if there was something that you guys saw me do that you were puzzled about or thought that I should improve on, I'm curious to hear about that too. If there's anything you guys got for me.
I think now thinking back, the biggest thing would really at least pass into Hera once you're in the mountains, since you're already there. But I think Korek would have better advice, being that he is in the other tournament.
Yeah, as far as execution goes, nothing big stuck out, but I definitely would have probably stepped into Hera when I was up there. That probably would have been better play. I can see leaving Swamp. That was actually a really hard choice, and it would depend on the seed for me.
Yeah, yeah. Thinking back to it's because Hera's so quick. In the heat of the moment, I was like, I've got to go to crystal dungeons, focus on crystal dungeons. But I think you're right.
And the other thing is, you had like I think you had every item you needed to clear all 3 pendant dungeons within the first half hour. So maybe an early pedestal check would have been a good idea. It didn't have anything, but it still might have been a good idea.
Yeah, I remember when I checked it, it was about an hour, and I was thinking, boy, if there really is a critical item here, this is too late. Yeah, that's good advice. Well, yeah, thanks for restreaming and doing the commentary, and I'm this just makes me more excited for the next round.
Yeah. What's fun watching? Will probably be fun playing. I hope everyone has fun. Do you have any final words?
GG to Kaizen. That was great. I'm excited to I bet the rest of Group W is watching. I'm excited to play against you guys too. And I've been doing this for like under a month. I started after I saw the HRGQ run, and the community's been great. Everyone's super helpful and really welcoming, and I'm having a lot of fun. So glad we're doing this.
Yeah. All right.
That's great.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'm gonna go and watch some other races. Thanks, guys.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by and watching this great race between KaizenMa and ThreeDucks. I'm Korek.
I'm Gabisver. And thank you, everybody. Be sure to follow our racers. Be sure to follow my friend commentator here, Korek. Be sure to follow our friendly tracker, Kevin. And our great restreamer, who has been Clifford. I don't know if he has a Twitch as well. Probably does. If he does, follow him.
And make sure to follow Gavisfar as well. And we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.